Hi, this is Corey from Plaza Fitness Performance, and this is our special little program for individuals that might be starting with us, or if you have a known core stability issue. And from our experience, most clients who are new to us have core instability. You'll know if you have core instability if you're either A, not exercising, or B, you've never really done anything to specifically affect the stability of your core. So there are some assessments that we could typically take a client through to determine this, but I would always err on the side of caution. And if you have any concerns about it, if we have any concerns about it, we are going to have you execute this program. So this is a tremendous place to start because it reduces the risk of injury. So if we can reduce the risk of injury and enhance the benefit that you're getting, it's an absolute no-brainer. So stay with me here. I'll show you all the different exercises that we typically recommend. It's highly variable depending upon a client's initial fitness level in terms of how much we do, as well as the core stability that they currently have. But we're going to go through each of these little exercises. You can kind of follow along, and I'll just kind of take you through them. So the first little brick is going to include breath, rolling patterns, and crawls. So breath, although it seems simple, we want to make sure that you know exactly what to do and why you're doing it. So I'm going to show you what I'd like you to do. We're going to go into a corpse pose. So find a piece of ground that you can just lie comfortably, completely relax your body. And we want you to inhale and exhale through the nose. Keep your eyes open because we live in a state of wakefulness. And we're looking for very calm breaths, nothing forced. We want you to think about maybe targeting a 3-second inhale and a 5-second exhale. And we want you to pull air in to the diaphragm down toward the lowest part of your pelvic floor. So you're diaphragmatically breathing. Try not to chest breathe. Just be comfortable with it. And we're going to have you here for about 60 seconds. It's a good way to calm the nervous system down because we're always stressed out typically, and our muscles get really tense and tight, and then we don't move well. So this is a great place to start for anybody. So 60 seconds is done. You next go into your second exercise, which in this case is a rolling pattern. There are a lot of different rolling patterns. The rolling patterns that we tend to teach initially are lower body and upper body segmental rolling. So let's start with the easier of the two, which is going to be lower body segmental rolling. Again, find a space on the ground. Keep your arms and legs extended. And if you're doing lower body segmental rolling, you're going to bring one leg off the ground. You're going to start bringing it across your body. Your eyeballs are going to look in that direction. Head is coming off the ground, and you're going to use your core, just your core, not your upper body. Your upper body is just relaxed, and you're going to use your core, and you're going to slowly try to roll to your belly. Once you get to your belly, you're going to bring that leg that you brought up, and you're going to bring it up again using the glute. Go across your body. Eyeballs are going to lead. So I'm looking over my right shoulder in this situation. I'm using my core. I'm going to go as slowly as possible. And that is a lower body segmental rolling. If you want to do the other side, leg is up, cross your body. Eyeballs are going to lead, heads off the ground. Using your core, reach with that leg. Try to breathe. Just use the midsection. Arms are relaxed. Going back, glute engagement, eyeballs. Use the core. Slow movement. And just, that's the lower body segmental rolling. Upper body segmental rolling would be very similar, except for arms. So one arm's going to come up. Your head is going to come off the ground. Chin is going to go to the armpit. You're going to go across your body with the arm. Legs are going to be relaxed. And just try to use your core. This can be a very tough exercise. So if you can't roll over, try not to cheat. Just get some fatigue of your core. Reach with that arm, and then relax. That's going to be your set. If you do have the core stability to roll over, this is a very challenging exercise. Breathe, relax your legs, end up in the Superman, and then when you come back, arm is up. Eyeballs are going to be the leader because your body's going where your eyeballs go, and you're going to take it super slow. Just work your core. Try not to use your legs. I'm going to do the other side for you. One arm is up, head is off the ground, chin into the armpit, arm across your body. Try to use your core. Coming back. Arm is up, eyeballs are leading, legs are relaxed, glutes are relaxed. Feel your core work. And that becomes your upper body and lower body segmental rolling. For now, that's going to be your roll of choice. There are a lot of different types of rolling patterns that we can include, but for right now, let's include those rolling patterns. And the last exercise in this brick is going to be your crawl. So the crawls that we would like you to integrate can be found in our crawling video, but the lowest level crawl is a cross crawl. And that cross crawl is going to have you starting in a standing position. Right now I'm in tall kneeling, but if I were in a standing position and I'm going to go in this position, I would look like this, and I would just walk forward, tapping opposite hand, opposite leg, walking forward. And again, I'm just showing you this, so I'm not off screen, but you'd be going forward, and you could go backward, you can go side to side. That's a cross crawl. The next crawl would be a baby crawl. If I turn to the side, my spine's in neutral, and I would give you this slow and controlled little opposite arm, opposite leg crawl. I can go forward, I can go back. Looking at it from the front, opposite leg, opposite arm, forward and back. Shouldn't be too hard for you. You could go side to side. The next logical crawl would be a bird dog crawl. And for most of our clients who are on this particular routine, the bird dog crawl is probably the most appropriate. We can go into leopard and spider crawl, but those tend to be a little bit more intense. So I would encourage you to probably get to the point where you're just doing a bird dog crawl. Opposite arm, opposite leg, full extension. If you see me from the side, I'm fully extending my leg and my arm. And this can be a somewhat challenging exercise. It's great for core stability. So that's your first brick, those three exercises: the breath, the rolling patterns, and the crawls. Depending upon where you are, if this is the first thing that you've ever done in many, many moons, then I would just encourage you to maybe go through each of those once. You could build up to rolling through them again, and then potentially a third time. So really the prescription is 1 to 3 sets, depending upon how much time you have, as well as your fitness level. The second little brick is going to include a bridge, a paleo press, and a hurdle step. So let's cover those next. The next brick includes 3 different exercises: the bridge, paleo press, and the hurdle step with load. And so the first exercise in that brick is going to be your bridge. So you're just going to go to your back, keep your legs bent, arms to your side, and you're going to bring your hips as far as you can. Try to bring them to the ceiling and right back down. And you're just giving us repetitions. The recommendation is 10 reps. So give us 10 of these. If some of you have a little higher fitness level, or if you're progressing and this becomes, you want to challenge yourself a little more, you can always do a single leg bridge. And if you're doing a single leg bridge, it would be the leg down, the glute on that side that you're trying to emphasize. Give us full range of motion. So that becomes your first exercise. and give us 10 reps. The next exercise is the paleo press. This is a great exercise for core stability. You're gonna go ahead and get your bands. These are super bands, all different resistance based upon the width of the band. So this is a 1/4 inch super band. This is a 1/2 inch super band. Again, they go all the way up. So start light. Your attachment point ideally would be at about your chest height. This is just a little bit lower. You can do any type of stance you want. I would encourage you to maybe create some variety with your stance. This is a tall kneeling stance. You could do a half kneeling stance. You could do a standing stance. Just mixing it up is totally fine and probably better. So emphasize the neutral spine in the position you're in. Let's keep the band that's attached to your chest and just slowly extend the arms. Pause for a couple counts and right back in and right back out and right back in. You're going to give us 10 repetitions. If that's too easy, challenge yourself. Either move out or go to a heavier band. Once you get 10 reps on this side, turn around and do 10 reps on the other side. That would be your paleo press. The third exercise in this particular brick is a hurdle step with load. So we're going to recommend a high attachment point. So if you have like a pull-up bar or something that's high, take your super band, again, whatever super band's appropriate for you, and you're gonna hurdle step with the load. So I'll show you that. So we're gonna move all the way back to our pull-up bar. It could be a mount from a high position, anything that attaches the band. You're gonna go ahead and bring the arms down to your side, right at your hips, and you're gonna just give us a march, so it's a hurdle step, and just give us 10 repetitions on each side. Once you get 10, go to the other side. Keeping your arms right to your side, hands right next to the hips, arms locked, and you should sense your core working and trying to stabilize throughout that pattern. So again, if I'm standing with an attachment, I'm grabbing a hold of those bands. Could be bands with handles, could be the super bands, and you're just giving us that marching and neutral spine. So those are your 3 exercises within that brick. The bridge, the paleo press, and the hurdle step. Again, same logic would apply whether you do 1, 2, or 3 sets based upon your fitness level, the time you have available. But all those exercises are great for core stability. Okay, the last brick of our core stabilization routine is going to include a plank. And I'm sure most of you have probably done a plank. So you're going to position yourself on the ground with your elbows bent at 90 degrees, toes on the ground, and your body straight as a board. Try to avoid the neck falling. Try to avoid the sagging of the hips. Just think of your body as like a 2x4, straight as a 2x4, and just breathe. Keep everything as stable as you can. In terms of the recommended time, again, it's going to be based upon your fitness level. We would generally encourage a client to work up from whatever they can do. It might be 10 seconds, it might be 15, and gradually increase the duration that they're under tension in that position. So a great recommendation that we would start with is a 10 to 30 second plank. Same thing would apply to the next exercise. You'd go into a side plank. So the side plank, our recommendation is to start at the lower of the 2 or 3 planks that we do. So start with your body long so that you're in neutral spine in this position. Bend your knees so you're 90 degrees. Bring your hips off the ground and try to stay in that neutral. Try to avoid the head falling and the cervical spine, the neck out of alignment. Could bring the arm up. Doesn't really matter. Trying not to cave in with the shoulders or the hips. Trying to stay as stable as possible. This becomes your side plank. And you would want to do the other side as well. So long, bend the knees, hips off the ground, and just hold that there. Good, that 10 to 30 second duration is appropriate for our new clients. If you wanted to make that a little bit more challenging, if you've gone through this particular workout a few times and you feel more stable, you could give us an enhanced version of this, which is just the legs extended, bring that top foot down on the ground, and now it's the same exercise, but your feet are the pivot point, not the knees. And you'd give us the other side as well. So that becomes your initial side plank. The next exercise, we'd have you go to a standing position. So we're going to pattern your squat. So I'd have you stand, and we'd have your feet in a comfortable squat stance, which means probably a hair wider than your shoulders, with your toes pointed slightly out. You're going to keep your arms extended for a counterbalance. You're going to drop your hips back like you're reaching for a chair, and then you're going to swim with your arms, and you're going to fire your glutes, stand tall, and you're just going to pattern that squat over and over, keeping your chest up, spine in neutral. And from the side, this is what it looks like. So that's your body weight squat. We're recommending 10 repetitions. So within this block, we've got our plank, we've got our side plank, we've got our body weight squat, and lastly, we're recommending a hip hinge just to introduce it to everybody. So we've done a low-level hinge, which was the bridge. Now we're going to enhance that hinge just a little bit with a standing band hinge. And hinging becomes critical because it opens up the gateway to the biggest metabolic drivers and performance engines, which are your glutes. So we're going to go ahead and go to that attachment that you used for the paleo press. Although this attachment is more appropriate for this exercise because it is lower, we're going to use a band that's appropriate for you. It might be a 1/4 inch, it might be a 1/2 inch, it might be a full inch, whatever is appropriate for you. You're going to stand tall, chest up, arms extended, and you're going to think of your hips as being on a shelf, and we want your hips going back on that shelf or behind you if there's a wall behind you, and then drive the hips forward, and you can swim with the arms. Chest up, hips drop back, and forth. So my knees are soft. My knees are not aggressively bending like a squat. So you're emphasizing the hip hinge. And you're going to do 10 reps. That is a band hinge, hip hinge. It's a great exercise to get your glutes, hamstrings, low back, all that backside chain really working for you. So that is the 3-brick core stabilization routine that we recommend for all new clients, for clients who might have core stability issues. Once you do this particular routine for a period of time, again, it's going to be dependent upon you, your core will be more stable, you're going to be more injury resilient, and you will be much stronger. So execute these for a while, and then once you're in a different position, you can look at joining the regular program. Of course, as you can see, there is a finisher that is an option. If you do feel like doing some conditioning, or your coach encourages you to do some finishing exercises that would be more conditioning related, we'd recommend could be some sled walks, could be some appropriate length ropes in terms of, maybe a short duration, a 10, 15 second rope. So that is the core stabilization routine.